Okay, good morning, councillors. I declare the council meeting CO 26/16 open and welcome everyone present. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed and the consequences of that. I shall open with our karakia. Whakatau mai te wara, whakawate mai te hina naro, whakarite mai te tinana, ki ea ai ngā mahi. Ai. I'm note that Councillor Joyce is online. I haven't got an apology I got apologies for lateness from Councillor Dinsdale and Councillor Daly. Councillor Daly's just made it in time. Mover and seconder for that, please. Councillor Sol, Councillor Elvin, all in favour say aye. Against carried. There's no consideration of late items. Does anyone have a declaration of interest? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Conflict of interest in regard to 10.8 Makatu Surf Club Reserve. I am currently president of one of the organisations, so happy to answer questions, but I will be not voting.
Duly noted. Thank you, Councillor Beach. There's no transfer of public excluded items, so we move on to public forum, and I'll welcome Vanessa Christie, who wants to talk about Waiwai to Tuki Road. So please come to the front, and if you press the right hand button, so your microphone is live. Do take a seat.
Tēnā koutou katoa, Chair, elected members, council staff and members of the committee. My name is Vanessa Christie and I'm speaking on my own behalf about Waiwai Tutuki Road of Makatu. I have a direct invested interest in this road. I own a home on one whānau block and am also a trustee of my nephew's home further up the road. My particular concern has been the first approximately 650 metres, because that is the section I have been asking council to address. However, after reviewing council's historical records, I discovered that 650 metres should not be confused with the historical extent of council maintenance. Council's own 1982 engineering record states that the first 1.4 kilometres had been maintained by council since 1949. The later 600 to 690 metres figures, 690 metre figures refer to specific legislation, reconstruction or engineering sections, and do not establish the full historical length maintained by council. So my first question is, when and why was the historically maintained length reduced, and what formal council decision authorised that change? The records also raise important questions about legislation. Council had been progressing the survey and legislation of Waiwai Tutuki Road since 1972. By the 1990s, the first approximately 650 metres was being progressed as a separate legislation section. But by 1996, majority owner support for that proposal had been obtained and legislation itself remained incomplete. What happened next is important. In August of 1996, council expressly recorded that legislation was still far from complete, but nevertheless directed that maintenance of the first 650 metres proceed by grading or metalling. The following month, council recorded that the first 670 had been brought to a passable standard. So council's own records demonstrate that incomplete legislation did not prevent council from maintaining Waiwai Tutuki Road then. Why should it prevent regular maintenance now? And why was legislation of the first section never completed? Particularly when council had also received advice that an under-width Māori roadway could potentially be accepted as a public road. There is another council record that I consider particularly important. In 1993, while considering the lack of maintenance on Waiwai Tutuki Road, council's engineering manager stated that council accepted responsibility for upgrading and maintaining the road. in the interest of public safety. And that remains very important to me today. Wairau Tutuki Road is not used only by the owners of the road line. Residents, whānau, visitors, service vehicles and pedestrians use it. Most importantly, children and other residents have to travel along the road to reach the school and public bus at Wilson Road North. Most important, there is no separate pedestrian path. Pedestrians share the road with vehicles through narrow sections and bends with restricted visibility. Yet Council's recent response referred to pedestrians being alerted to approaching vehicles by noise and dust. Noise and dust are not an adequate safety measure, particularly for children and particularly in wet weather. Council identified maintenance of this road as a public safety issue in 1993. That public safety issue still exists today. Council's records also raise an unresolved question about owner consent. In 2002, Council stated that written consent from all owners or trustees was required before Council could act. Council subsequently developed an arrangement under which the owners could retain ownership of the roadway while consenting to Council undertaking regular maintenance at no cost to the road line owners. Councillor Kevin Marsh later recorded that approximately 70% support was obtained, but the proposal was abandoned because 100% was required. So I ask, what legal provision or council policy required 100% consent? And how does that position reconcile with council's earlier maintenance of the road? That history brings me to what is happening today. On the 15th of June 2026, Brad Singh, General Manager of Infrastructure, responded in writing to my formal complaint, service request number 104866. Council confirmed spot metalling and grading for July, August, and said my culvert and drainage concerns would be looked at as part of that program. Today is the 27th of August, and that work has not happened. And simply grading this road is not enough. Water continues to travel across and along the road, moving material and damaging the surface. The road needs effective drainage, regular metalling and monitored maintenance. My driveway culvert, approximately 400 to 450 metres along the road, is now completely buried from your graders. I ask Council to uncover and inspect it, and if it is damaged, replace it and restore the drainage. Its location should also be recorded so future maintenance does not compromise it again. There is also a question about the road width. Council's 1992 record describes the existing roadway as approximately 10 metres wide. Today, some sections of the formed road are considerably narrower. I ask Council to clarify the legal width of Wairau Tutuki Road and the width Council actually forms and maintains. Finally, my review has raised questions about Council's maintenance records. Some entries recorded against Wairau Tutuki Road, including references to pavement and other works, cannot readily be reconciled with what physically exists there. I ask Council to verify that work and expenditure recorded against Wairau Tutuki Road, whether it was actually undertaken on Wairau Tutuki Road, and reconcile it with the underlying work orders and accounting records. So I'm not here simply asking Council to send a grader down the road. I'm asking Council to complete the maintenance already confirmed in writing, provide effective drainage, regular metalling, and monitored maintenance, address the public safety risks, inspect and restore my culvert if damaged, clarify the historically maintained length and current road width, explain what happened to the legislation and owner consent processes, and verify the maintenance and expenditure records. Longer term, I ask Council to investigate sealing the first 650 metres with the rights and views of the relevant owners properly considered. Council stated in 1993 that it accepted responsibility for upgrading and maintaining Waiwai-Tutuki Road in the interests of public safety. What I'm asking today is how we got from that commitment to the condition we have now and what council is going to do about it. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Thank you.
Sure, thank you, Vanessa. I think having briefly discussed with Brad, it's, it is a council road which we do maintain. So I think that the question is, and I think you brought it up at least partially, is that is it correct that you don't feel the level of maintenance is enough?
Well, once every 6 months is not enough, especially when the road gets ripped up and turned into mud. And if we're fortunate enough, it dries up and we flatten that mud out with our tyres. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Alvin.
Vanessa, thank you very much. I really sympathise with the position you've got, and I've really got a question as to how and to what extent you think we can manage our roading network, because your story is one I hear regularly around our community. About
Okay, can we keep it to the topic in hand, Councillor Alvin?
I was actually just going to ask, sir, if you'd just let me continue, how Vanessa thinks we should approach that from a funding perspective for our council. That's
from what I could see in the records, you've really basically had everything in your hands. All you had to do was put a maintenance program in place, which I haven't seen, and I've been there for 35 years. And I'm tired of my car getting damaged from potholes and going over massive craters in the road every day.
As I said, I sympathise. I just think it's a problem we face wider in the community that somehow we need to find a way.
Okay, Councillor Sol.
Thank you for that presentation and so on. And great to, well, it's not a good subject, but great to hear from you. At least we're all aware of it now. My question is to do with your culvert. 2 or 3, just little parts of it, okay? One is, has it been, I didn't quite gather whether it's been uncovered and cleared, etc. as yet. 2 is, if it hasn't, what is happening to the water at your culvert? Where is it running to?
So it used to go through the culvert, but when the graders come up, they push the dirt in front of it, so it's got nowhere to go. So it goes over the top of my driveway. And I do have photos I took yesterday, about, I don't know, 20 of them. And I was a bit worried about standing on the road taking the photos, because cars have to divert to the left or to the right to go around them. And it's a very narrow road, sharp corners. So you don't know whether something is coming around the corner or not. I was very concerned about getting out of my car and taking those photos, but yeah.
So the answer is that basically the water is going over and around the culvert and down the road still?
Yes.
Thank you.
And it was damaged. My cousin was doing some work to repair the water going over the driveway, and he dug to try and find the culvert, and it had been cracked and smashed into. And Brad, unless you had seen it, you cannot hit it with a car. It must have been done by a grader.
Councillor Beach.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa. Coming in and talking about it, I do know this road really very well. Many years that I've lived down there. I need a bit of clarification. This is my first question. Is it a Maori road or not a Maori road?
From what I can tell from the records, it's a Māori road.
Right.
So Brad's happy to confirm it's a Māori road which we maintain.
Okay, good. All right. And my second question is, you referred to some statistics, 70% over 100% needed to obviously for council to take it. My question is probably is when was that done? Now, is this quite a number of years ago when that was done, or was it recently?
I believe it was in the 90s.
In the 90s. Okay, right. Do you think it would require upgrading, numbering with present occupants on the road?
I was told that we required to have at least 75 cars go up the road, but that was completely wrong once I researched it. We really only needed 25. And I go up that road 4 times a day. My neighbour goes up that road 4 times a day. And that's just 2 of us. And that's not even to pick up the kids. That's just us going to work or going out to town.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
A grader driver should be able to do this job. They're skilled normally. Tell me, the entrance to your place has been stuffed up,
Yes, many times.
and you're expected to clean it up?
Yes. I was told that my driveway is my responsibility by Brad.
But your entrance to your driveway,
Well, I believe should be fixed by the people that damage it.
and you've got a culvert at that entrance?
I had a culvert at the entrance that has been buried.
Councillor Daly and then Councillor Ray.
Vanessa, I'm very familiar with driving on gravel roads in this district, so sympathise to a certain, to certainly sympathise. Shouldn't say that, should I? My question is, have you noticed a difference over the last 2.5 years specifically?
Yes,
And
the
what-
disappearance of people maintaining it. It's like it's just not a concern to anyone anymore. And I waited one time for almost a year. I was like, why haven't they come up here? And if they had, I certainly didn't see them. But you used to see regular maintenance, deliveries of gravel on the road mostly when Mr. Tapsell Warwick Tapsell was alive. And I think he used to keep an eye on it for us. But since his passing,
Yeah,
I've seen a massive decline.
but when did he pass? Just out of interest, but
Okay, you don't have to answer as you don't know.
Over 5 years ago.
I think we did have a change in.
Okay, just keep it to
Transportation
questions, please, Councillor
contract.
Daly.
So, yeah, the reason I ask is because, I have noticed that when we had Downer doing the works, they used a grader and gravel approach, whereas our approach has changed. So I just wondering, have you noticed that specific change?
Yes,
Yeah,
no one cares unless you ring up and you ask for someone to come out and maintain it. My next door neighbour, he doesn't wait around. He goes down with his clippers and he cuts it back himself. He's a very old school neighbour. I really appreciate him. He even picks up the rubbish. But I was told that if I make a complaint, I should be aware that I ask for information, that I'm going to pay for it. That discourages people from bringing forth my concerns, basic concerns. So I did not appreciate that, Brad.
Okay, Councillor Ray.
Morena, thank you for that presentation. So my first question is just to confirm, it's mainly just the first half of the road, just beyond your property, that's the issue?
Well, originally in the records, it was the first just under 1,200 metres
Yes,
that was being maintained from 1949.
yeah,
So that's a long time to be maintaining the road and council accepting that responsibility. Then it was cut back to just under 700 metres, 690 approximately. And I want to know why. Give me some more time. I'll figure that out from the paperwork myself. They separated all your PDFs and then redistributed them into different appendices so that you will be able to see. Have passed them out. I only finished it last night, so I wasn't able to get it to you completely.
yes, we've got those, but what I'm asking, because my belief is that if it's a road that we should be maintaining it to the full length. But I was just asking, as I haven't driven down that road recently, is the main issue at the beginning where it's all roughed up and you believe that we haven't done any work
Well,
there?
see, I don't drive down the rest of the road.
Okay.
So maybe the first 650, mine's at 450, 450. My nephew's house that I have
Yeah.
the authority over is only a couple of 100 metres past me.
Yes.
So I have no need to go
Okay.
further down.
The last question too is, you may or may not know the answer to this, but my understanding over many, many years is that Mr. Johnson was grazing up there and he used to actually make sure that maintenance of that roadway continued, whether it was him going out to do it. So do you know if he still grazes up Waiwaitutuki Road?
Not in particular.
Okay.
I don't really know my neighbours.
Because I feel like that there is something, because I've noticed, because Mr. Johnson, bless his heart, he's done lots of things in Makitu where just out of the kindness of his own back. And since he's become a little bit more elderly, all of that has sort of stopped and we've started to notice those issues. So I feel that that's definitely one of them, but thank you.
Thank you, councillor Ray. Councillor Coxhead, last question.
Thank you, Vanessa. I know I asked you earlier when you came in how long the road is and how many houses were on it, but when you talk about the 1,200 metres, would that be half the road or anywhere near half the road, do you think, when the original 1,200 metres that were being maintained?
I actually don't know. I never looked
Yeah.
into it. And I thought once I looked through the paperwork, it would be in here. But if it is, I've overlooked it. There were so many documents to go through and I only had a short amount of time to get through
Okay,
them.
I probably need to drive it myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, Mrs. Christie. I think there's an issue to look at here, and I'll ask Brad to look into it further. From first glance, it feels like a maintenance issue rather than documentation and some other issues. So I think it's about getting some understanding about what the level of maintenance is and should be, and whether we're meeting that.
And future
Yeah.
for sealing.
But we'll ask Brad to look into all those matters and we can report. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your time and sharing your concerns with us.
Thank you.
Have our sympathy. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to confirm some minutes and then we'll have a change in order of business. So can we have a mover and seconder for the minutes of the council meeting of the 30th of July? Please, Councillor Coxhead, Deputy Mayor. All in favour, say aye. Against, carried. And minutes of the Chief Executive Employment Subcommittee meeting held on the 18th of August. I'll move those. Councillor Coxhead seconds. All in favour, say aye. Against, carried. I'll now request that the next item of business be 12.3, funding request for building consent checking assistant in order to release external presenters from the meeting. So could I have a mover and seconder to have that as the next item of business, please? Deputy Mayor, Councillor Daly.